one.
Hello, I am here today with Mr. Calvin Richardson. He is a 5-time Grammy-nominated artist and happens to be from the Charlotte area. We won't say quite Charlotte because you're from Monroe, that's right? All right, Calvin, it's really nice to meet you. I'm Anjera.
It's a pleasure meeting you as well.
So, I've heard your music, love your music, and I'm so honored to meet you today. So I had a couple questions for you. And first, I'm thinking like Monroe, North Carolina. I've been in Charlotte for 11 years. I wasn't even quite sure where Charlotte was. I come from up north. So how did you go from Monroe, North Carolina, when Charlotte was barely known, making hits and becoming the man that you are, the Prince of Soul?
Well, Monroe is really not that far away, you know what I mean? Charlotte, it's a much smaller city than Charlotte. And so I migrated, this way just for a little more action and a little more access to, people that was doing the thing that I was doing. But, singing's always been my thing. And so, I just happened to be fortunate enough to find my way. It took a little while, you know what I mean? But, I stayed true to my style and stayed true to my sound. And eventually, people, it started catching on.
Yeah, persistence.
It pays off.
That's great. That's great. Now, when I'm listening to your music, I'm just really feeling all this love and this feeling, this soul. What motivates you?
Well, the things that I write about is the things that, I go through on a day-to-day basis. And, I'm normal like everybody else, so I don't live in the world by myself. So there's a lot of people out there that go through the same things that I go through, Everybody wants love, what I'm saying? That's what makes the world go round. A lot of people say money makes the world go round, but if that's the case, then it's the love of money, you know what I mean?
Right.
Keep people chasing out there, so it will turn. So, I think, but, to ultimately be happy in life, personally, you gotta find that something that, fulfills you, which is love,
I got you. I feel that. Now, I was reading up on your background about when your mother had the choir and you were doing gospel music. So how did you transition from gospel music to soul?
It's soul music and gospel music. They always been very close. Just change a couple of words, make reference to baby instead of to Jesus or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you got a love song. You know what I mean? And like all the greats, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, all of them, they come from that, and they just, it was just, I don't know, it's just a natural transition,
Now, have you ever thought about doing a gospel album?
I thought about it, but I just think that it should be one or the other. You shouldn't confuse people because the world is just so, people are so funny. Everybody want to judge the next person. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't living by, what you're singing about, then,
I understand.
Then I don't think it's probably better to just stick with what you do.
You don't want to look like a hypocrite.
I don't want to look like a hypocrite.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you. Well, I know that some people think that artists are not regular people and that all you do is what we see on camera.
Right.
So I wonder what kind of hobbies you have, or what are things that Calvin Richardson just likes to do?
I have a real passion for riding motorcycles. I love that. That's like one of my favorite pastimes.
Okay.
I own several of them, and old school cars, trucks. Yeah, so
Okay.
I like it. Actually, my last video that I put out, You're So Amazing, that old school truck in there, that was mine. Like I fixed it up.
Okay.
I just spent time doing it. I have old 71 Mustang. I have a lot of old cars, and I like fixing them up. Like the old things, you know what I mean? Like the music, it's old school, I got an old soul, so and just spending time with my kids. I have 3 kids, and so they are important as well. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's good. Now I was reading about Charlie Wilson. He had a quote that Calvin Richardson is one of the most talented artists in the business. So, with that being said, I know you have a lot of insight in this industry, and I wonder what kind of advice could you give to new artists, up-and-coming artists, to keep them going and keep them motivated like you did?
Well, I think the number one thing for artists to have longevity in the business and to stay in it long enough to have success, if it don't come overnight, which most times it don't, is to really find yourself and really, you have to invest not only into financially into your craft. You know, you have to invest, you know, the proper time. You have to do the proper research, you know what I'm saying, to find out different things about the path that you're going down with your music. So it's a commitment, and it's a total investment that you have to really put into yourself in order to be successful. And the one thing that I think any artist, every artist out there should never do is, you know, to take no for an answer. Just because, you know, one person, like if they're looking for a deal and one person thinks shop their deal and they don't get an answer back, we take that as a no. But you know, you should take that as motivation to, you know, just keep doing, work harder. That should be your motivation. Just use all the naysayers as your motivation and just keep doing what you're doing, and, you know, to get what you want out of it. At some point, it might not be right away.
That's real good advice. Yeah. That's real good advice. I don't want to take up too much time, but I just wanted to ask you what you have coming up next, and what's new for Calvin Richardson in 2012.
You know, there's some things I can talk about and some things that I can't. But I say this right here, that obviously there's going to be more music that's coming out this year. I'm working on a new album. I'm working on 2 projects right now. I'm working on my solo album, and there's another album that I'm working on with another individual that nobody probably don't think that would ever happen, but it's going to happen. It's going to be it's going to shock a lot of people, and we got some great music, and you know, there's some plays that you know, I just signed up for. I've been doing stage plays. I started that a couple of years ago, making guest appearances in different plays, and I just signed up for another one. Actually, I'll be starting out tomorrow in Spartanburg. Okay. Yeah, so you know, I'll be doing that, trying my hand at that. And just, you know, I have my own record label, so I just keep it fresh and keep it moving. You know? Keep it busy.
Alright. Multi-talented, handsome, the Soul Prince, Calvin Richardson. I thank you so much for being here with me today. It's been great to meet you. All right. You keep doing what you're doing. We love it. We love the music. All right. Anjera signing off. Till later. Toodles.
Toodles.